couldn't make it, so we are being recorded. I hope everyone's having a good Friday. I'm going to do 3 different things today. I am going to show you the portal. I am going to show you the Blackboard course. And then when we're in Blackboard, we'll go over how to review the curriculum in Blackboard. And then I will leave time for questions, okay? Let me share my screen. At any point, if you have a question, go ahead and interrupt. Because I'm sharing my screen, I won't be able to see if you raised your hand or the chat room. So you could just go ahead and just start asking the question or make a comment. Okay, so this is in your portal. The way I find the curriculum page in my portal is I go to Faculty Resources and then Curriculum. And this page will load. Now, some of this information on this portal page is the same thing on the Blackboard page. So you'll see some duplicate information, but it's 2 different ways to access things. On this page, I want to show you where the dates and deadlines are. If we click into the dates and deadline link, it won't look like it pops up right away. There is a very small attachment link that you have to click here. And this will bring you to the dates and deadlines. We update this every fall and spring. So you may have a question of when will we do our next TRC review? When is curriculum due to the curriculum office for faculty submissions? When is our meetings? And it has every date that we have going on for the curriculum committee. And it also shows you the flow of how curriculum makes it to be finally approved. So you'll see here the deadline to the curriculum office. So faculty have till this day to get any revisions or new programs, any type of curriculum submission to Susie Morato from the curriculum office. So she handles all the emails and submissions. Susie will then put them in Blackboard. So you see it says upload to technical review committee. Susie will post the curriculum submissions in the Blackboard shell around this date. Usually she's pretty accurate, maybe 1 day late, but here are the dates that they are posted. That is the date that the TRC should, members of the TRC should be getting an email from me around that date to say the curriculum is ready for you to review. So if you were to check on, if you were part of the TRC or curriculum committee that wants to review the submissions, if you were to check on March 11th and nothing was posted yet, just wait for my email. Sometimes it comes really late at night, depending on how many submissions Susie has, or the next morning. So what will happen is then the technical review committee and the curriculum committee members will review what's posted in Blackboard. And I'll show you how that happens later on in this meeting. And they'll offer feedback to the submitters. The submitters of the curriculum will then have till these dates to get it back, usually about a week. So usually this is a Thursday to a Thursday to get it back to the curriculum office. We meet, Vice President and Susie and I will meet on all our submissions on one of the last Mondays of the month. And then here's a list of our curriculum committee meetings. So if you're a member of the curriculum committee, this is when we meet temporarily, or I shouldn't say, I don't know when we'll go back to campus, but we're doing it virtually. So this should actually be virtual. We'll do it on the link that you're in right now, our curriculum meetings. After the curriculum meeting, if the curriculum was approved, it goes to the Senate for approval, it goes to the board for approval. Once the board approves it, then it goes to the state. So a lot of people actually think that if it gets approved at the curriculum committee meeting, that it's good to go and it's already done. But there's still like 3 more approvals after that. The Senate, the board, and then the state has to approve it. But this is where to find these important dates, okay? So that was the first link I wanted to show you. There is a handbook with, oh, go ahead.
Thank you for stating that. When are you then notified by the state that it's been approved? Because I'm assuming, since you said that, then we're not making any official changes within our system until it's been approved by the state. Is that accurate?
Correct.
So then when is that notification of when it was approved by the state?
It comes back fairly quickly from the state. Submitters could check with Susie Morato I could see if she could send you a quick note when things are returned back to her. So Susie sends that out. We wait. It's typically only a couple of days. But if you need to know when it's official, then we can certainly update you. And the other thing, Denise, is a lot of the curriculum, what you'll find, I opened up a couple examples. What you will find with some of these submissions is there's an effective date. So, for instance, I had my curriculum go through, and the curriculum committee approved, the Senate approved, the board approved, the state approved, but it actually is not effective until fall 2021. So usually that state approval happens well before the changes are implemented. But on every one of these forms, it tells you when exactly we want this to take effect.
Okay.
So even if the state approved, like this is fall 2021, so it's effective essentially in August of this year. So even if the state has approved it already, it doesn't become effective until that date, the beginning of that semester.
Got it.
Does that help?
Yes.
And every course outline and every curriculum proposal form will have that effective date. So you could look at those as you're reviewing the curriculum each month. Here is the handbook. And I have this posted in Blackboard. It's a lengthy book. It doesn't take long to read because it's more bullet points than just, paragraphs of what to do. The handbook, do I have it open? I believe so. The handbook, let's see, it's 78 pages of wonderful reading. But these are all the rules we follow. As a curriculum committee member or technical review committee member, I still have to refer to this. It will talk about how to fill out the curriculum the curriculum proposal forms, the course outline forms. Why do we say there is 15 credit hours in one, lecture hour? These are all from the state, okay, telling us we need to have a course title, a prefix, a lab. So when you get a chance, you could browse through this. It has the blank forms, which I'll show you a couple of forms as example later. I'm sorry, I'm probably making you dizzy by going through it all. But this is where the rules are that the curriculum committee follows are documented. So most of them are state mandated rules from the ICCB. But again, I don't want any faculty thinking that I or the curriculum office just randomly made up these rules of why things are the way they are in terms of the numbers and the lecture hours and things like that. Okay, was there another question on that? All right.
I think someone said good to know. Yeah, Mary Elkins.
Okay, so these are some blank documents. Now, we are currently, if you recall, updating our curriculum to have the guided pathways mapping. So the curriculum proposal forms are going through some changes. And if anybody needed a completely blank one, I would check with Susie because we're actually doing revisions as we speak. Hopefully we'll have a curriculum proposal form finalized soon. We keep thinking we have it done, but then we catch another glitch that we have to fix. These are all blank documents here. Now you'll see there's a lot, most of which we see in the curriculum office is the course outline and course proposal form, and then the curriculum proposal form. All these things in the middle are as if you want to make a new program. Form 20s, Form 21s, if you need a new program, okay? And there is a syllabus template, a master syllabus template. If a faculty member wanted to utilize that, we've had discussion at the Senate, should all faculty members have a syllabus that looks similar but has their own unique content. The school hasn't really made a formal decision on that yet, but if you wanted a template for your syllabus, it would be listed here. So here's where we find our course proposal and course outline. They are submitted at the same time, those two forms, and those are blank. What I have here, I don't have the course proposal. Let me see. What I have here, sorry, is the course outline. Typically, if somebody wants to submit information about a course, you have to have these two forms together, the course proposal form and the course outline form. This one typically is like the first page that we'll see in course revisions, although it could be a new course, a revised course, a deleted course, or reused course. This will be attached to a course outline. And here's an image of course outline. It's one of my courses. So your first page would be this course proposal. Very important to fill out. In the past, the curriculum committee has had many members of faculty think that they didn't need to do this, or that it was unnecessary work, or didn't fill it out thoroughly. But I'm going to tell you, as members of the TRC or CCC, this is your guide to what was changed in the document. Okay? If we did not have this as a guide to say what did the faculty member change, we would just be going into these courses kind of trying to look and see, well, how is this different than the last time it was revised? So let me show you something on this course proposal form. You're going to put, the faculty member will put all the current information here. I got to enable editing. So all the information is filled out on this left column, right? All the great stuff and so on. Now, in the right column is the only thing that they'll fill out in this area is what changed. So if you just see a number on this, that's the only thing that changed. Maybe it went from 3 to 2 credit hours. Okay. In this case, maybe you mean no lab. Right? Prerequisite, none. Maybe we decide to put a prerequisite and we say this is a new prerequisite. The only thing filled out here is what the faculty submitter has changed. Okay, if it's a new course, this would be the only thing filled out. All right, they would decide on the effective year and current course description. If they change the course description, they update it here. If they don't, this will be blank. This is very important. I tell faculty members constantly, you need to look for this too as members of the TRC or curriculum committee. What did they change? Why did they change? And what was the evidence to support that change? Okay. This, in the past, this would be left blank constantly. And I would go back and tell the faculty members, we need to know what you changed, why you changed it, and your supporting evidence. Perhaps the supporting evidence is the advisory committee or what other college, universities we're transferring to have requested, articulations, accreditations, things like that. So that must be filled out. As a member reviewing courses, a lot of times that's the first thing I'll look at. I'll look at this course proposal page. I'll say, what changed? I compare these two sides. I read the rationale. Okay. Then once you read the rationale, you could kind of zone in on that portion of the course outline. Perhaps they said they updated the textbook. They changed it from lecture to discussion. Maybe they changed any assessment. These assessments, this is an area that needs a lot of work from reviewers. Does this all add up to 100%? It's not 100% formative and 100% summative. It's 100% in total. And then my favorite part, and this is what I always review, I spend extra time on this, the topic, how long the topic is taught in the classroom. This would be 2 hours. And then the learning objective for that, the learning outcome, I should say, the learning outcome for that topic. Okay, so that's a course outline. Are you all following me? You're all there still? Okay. So I want to show you now, that's the course outline. Here's the curriculum proposal forms. They are blank. Again, we're updating them. So your best bet is if you're creating a new program now, probably to email Susie to get the latest version, because we are revising them currently, the course proposals, excuse me, the curriculum proposals. Those are the blank documents. The ones that are already filled out and completed are listed under this resources link. Here you will find the completed course outlines and the completed curriculum. Now, I'm not going to click on every single one of them. I'll just show you how it looks. I access my classes here all the time. If I decide I want to make a change, notice that there's a little arrow down here. It keeps going towards the end. You'll see mine's highlighted because that's the one I click in the most. But these are all your course outlines, okay? And you could click into that and get the latest version that was submitted to curriculum, okay? If you want to make a revision, you'll see you could, when we make revisions, what the curriculum office would like is for the individual to strike out what they want changed in red. Let's say I'm going to change the title of the course. I'm going to strike that out in red, and then what I'll do is next to that, put the new title. Okay. And then you're going to save this document and submit it to the dean. Those are more for submitters rather than reviewers. Then also in this area, let me go back. Also in this area are your curriculum proposal forms. There's approximately, I'm going to guess, I always lose track of the numbers, approximately 100 curriculum and close to 1,000 courses that Triton has. Remember, there's this arrow to the side on the bottom that shows all of them. You could continue clicking over until you find the one that you're reviewing. But, you know, perhaps you want to reference something as a reviewer as well. That is, I have some notes here, but that's really what I wanted to show you off of the portal is, remember, we did dates and deadlines, handbook, completed course outlines, completed curriculum proposal forms, and then the blank ones are here as well. If there's no questions on the portal, I'll go into Blackboard and show you where we review the actual submissions. So here is Blackboard. I was making a few updates just now. This is the curriculum committee page for Blackboard. I'll show you where a few things are that kind of duplicate work, but it's accessible in two different ways. Here's the dates and deadlines with those important dates of when curriculum is due, when we meet, and so forth. I do have the meeting link here. I know I emailed you guys the meeting link for today, but the curriculum committee does meet the first Thursday of each month in spring and fall. And it would be under this virtual link, the Collaborate link here. I do make a PowerPoint for each meeting summarizing what we will be discussing in the curriculum meeting. You can find the previous ones under this link here, all the way from fall and then up until the last month's meeting. I have recorded curriculum committee meetings if you have an extra hour and a half or 2 hours. If you want to see what happened, perhaps you just want to zone in on a specific portion of that meeting, they'll be posted there. There was, under this helpful information, there was a TRC checklist for TRC members to review. You know, if you're getting confused on a certain rule, certainly you can email Susie or I. You could refer to the handbook, or here's a checklist of what we could be looking at when we're reviewing curriculum. Under this blank forms, you're probably going to look for this internal forms more than anything. A blank course outline, a blank course proposal. Remember, those two get submitted together. This is really the cover page. The course proposal is the cover page to what changes were made on that course outline. Then we have these curriculum proposal forms. Again, it's in the making. These are being revised as we speak. Because we're building into this curriculum proposal form, we're building in the guided program maps. So I actually updated this morning, the Associate of Science and the Associate of Arts program guided map. It's just a new format of how the curriculum will look instead of just being listed out course by course what needs to be taken. It's more of a table format, and I'll show you that in a moment. Another place to find a blank syllabus if you would be looking for that. So that's what we have going on in the curriculum committee, the things that are posted here. And I wanted to, I'll pause for a minute to see if there's any questions before we get to how do we review the curriculum. So any questions on what I reviewed, where things are posted? Okay.
Julianne, I have a question. This is Latrice. How you doing?
Hi. Hi.
How do you gain access to the Blackboard?
Do you not have it yet?
I do not.
I'm going to have to look into that. I mean, I thought I added your name, but I will double check as soon as this meeting is over. I
Okay,
thought I added everyone's new name, but perhaps it's just a matter of me updating it to make sure you have access. But thank you for letting me know that.
no problem. Thank you.
Okay. So we're good on where to find all these documents, how to get in the meetings. So all curriculum committee members, it's part of their requirement to attend the curriculum committee and vote. The technical review committee, it's optional to attend those meetings. Technical review committee, your work mainly is done in Blackboard online during that 1 week time period when the courses are being reviewed. Remember, I will email you. You've probably received the emails from me already. I will email you to say the curriculum is posted. You have a week to review it. The submitters have that time period to make any revisions that the reviewers recommend and get it back to Susie. So it's really about 1 week time period, running roughly the middle of the month from a Thursday to a Thursday. We finished up the last review yesterday, so the next review for curriculum will be in March, and I have to look at the dates and deadlines to figure out when that will be. Approximately March 11th through the 18th. Okay. So what will happen, I do encourage all members of the technical review committee and all members of the curriculum committee meeting to review what is posted for the upcoming month. So we already reviewed March's curriculum. The next review will be for April. So let me just show you how we reviewed March's curriculum. In my email, I will tell you, each one of you, both the curriculum committee and the TRC, where the curriculum is posted. If it's only a few courses, it may all be in the TRC Group A. The last few months, it's been many courses, so we use 2 different groups. All right, we've used TRC Group A and B. Last year, we had so much, we actually had 3 groups. So that we're just breaking it up so that members of the TRC do not have to review all of them. Say we have 50 curriculum for March. We put about 25 in Group A, 25 in Group B, and the TRC members will be assigned whether you're reviewing Group A or whether you're reviewing Group B. Now, the curriculum committee members, because you're voting, you should know what you're voting on. You should review all of it. Okay, and I get this done. You know, when I first started as a TRC member, it took me a longer time to review. Then I moved up to curriculum committee, and then I quickly moved up to chair. But I could get these curriculum reviewed in probably 2 hours in one day. So what I do is I dedicate one day during that week of review to say, today I have to do this. So I typically do it the Monday of review, but you could pick what fits your schedule. But the TRC needs to review whichever group they're assigned. The curriculum committee should be reviewing everything because you're voting on it. You don't want to vote on something you didn't review. So here is the curriculum that was posted for March 4th, and it would be in Group A. I go to Group Discussion Board. This will open up. Now make sure you're clicking on the appropriate month, because I've done that as a mistake too. When I was just joining, I clicked on the wrong month and I was reviewing things that were already passed. So here is all the curriculum that's posted for Group A. What you will see when you click into these are either a course proposal and course outline form combined, or the ones that have a letter with several numbers following it. These are the curriculum proposal pages. Okay, so let's see who we could click into. Let's see what this math one says. There's a curriculum proposal for math, and the comments that both the members of the TRC and CCC have made to them. So you will read the curriculum and then reply with what comment you have. Now, if you're new, and I know that many of you are new, read what other people have posted to give you an idea of what we're looking at. But I'm going to go over one now from this last month so I can tell you how I will quickly look at these. So the first thing I do here is I say, okay, this is a revised curriculum. It's not new. It's not being deleted. It's being revised. I see the current information in this left side, okay? And so I see the title, the number, the credit hours. I look to the right and I see nothing of this is being changed. So none of that pertinent information up here is being changed. What I'm going to then look for is a rationale and say, what exactly is this person changing? And it says here that they wanted to update their template to the guided pathways mapping. So that's the primary thing that was changed, is they updated the format. It used to look a little different. Here's what it used to look like. It was just a listing of courses. And now the guided, see the difference kind of here? The guided program mapping has this template and it lists it out by semester. Math 131 is a math requirement. Rhetoric 101 is a communications requirement. Social and behavioral science course, so forth, okay? And it would be 4 semesters, fall, spring, fall, spring. I did review one that had a summer course, and then here's the electives. So what I do when I'm looking at a curriculum, I want to ensure that all the requirements of a degree are being met. Now, I have that memorized. I know exactly how many communications, how many math, how many science, how many social behavioral science, how many fine arts, humanities, how many electives. But if you don't have that memorized yet, you could look in the catalog. Under PowerPoints, I have a cheat sheet here, degree requirements. And if you click on that, you could print this out and keep it handy. What it will do, I copy this directly out of the catalog. What it will show you, for an AA degree, we need 3 communication courses, 3 social behavioral science, 3 humanity fine art, 1 math, 2 science, and then you'll see the total gen eds and the total elective hours. All degrees should be at 60 unless a strong rationale is given. It has to be a minimum of 60. If a strong rationale is given, it could go higher than 60, but the state discourages that. So here's your Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Associate of Applied Science, General Studies, and then the GECC, which is a Gen Ed core curriculum. That's a credential. They will receive this credential after completing their Gen Eds. But you see there's no elective hours, so it's just a credential. These are the degree requirements. So what I do when I'm reviewing these curriculum, if I could go back to let me show you a completed one. Where do I have mine? This is my nutrition one. Oh no, this is exercise science one that I have completed. So you'll see here the communications class, the math class. Now, if you're unfamiliar with where these classes are coming for, go ahead and access an electronic catalog. I learned by reading that catalog for many of weeks and months and years what requirements go into which degree. You know, Triton has those main general degrees, AA, AS, and AAS. And then certain departments have tailored that general degree to fit their needs, like I have with exercise science here. And it's basically the general degree. It's a general associate AS degree, but I specifically state what the electives are to kind of tailor it more to someone who's going into exercise science. The TRC members, curriculum committee members, we should be counting credit hours. We want to ensure that there's a minimum of 15 in each semester for these new maps. We want to make sure they add it up properly. You know, and I make mistakes too, so I'm hoping if I submit something, you count it, but you review it. You make sure that everything looks correct. And that is a curriculum submission. Now, let's get back here. So remember, we go into the group discussion board. All right, and then I'll review my course. I don't want to pull up somebody's course and critique it. I'll let you guys critique mine. But some of these are course outlines. Many of them are curriculum proposal forms. If we pulled up a course outline, is this one? Here's my course outline. The course proposal page would be filled out first, telling you what was changed, right? When I want the effective date. Review what, for TRC members, especially if you're new, I always advise people to review what they feel their strength is. And then I also know what my strength is not. I'm not an English or grammar teacher, so I typically don't read too much on these course catalog descriptions. I know there's members of the curriculum committee that do that. Not to say I never look at it, but I'm not as picky because that's not one of my strengths. I'm not as picky when I'm reviewing the course description as other areas of courses. If you feel your strength is reviewing the grammar and text of a course description, then zone in on that. Maybe you feel your strength is the textbooks, right? Is this the correct APA format? I only know APA. So if it's written in MLA, I let some other people handle that. So what we have going on here, we have obviously the number, the title, the course description. The overall learning outcome should only be 1 or 2 sentences. If you see something in here that is like 15 bullet points, that's not an overall learning outcome. That should be learning outcomes for the topics, which will come later. We only want this 1 or 2 sentences. So as a TRC or CCC member, you may find that somebody wrote 15 overall learning outcomes. No, we would tell them gently, that's too many, you only got to write 1 or 2 sentences. We could say your APA citation for the textbook is inappropriate, or it's not complete. Maybe they have something supplementary or others and we don't understand what that is. We can ask them to elaborate on that. Recommended instructional strategies. As you can see, this document, I could hand this document to like a faculty member who's never taught the class before. They could read that and know exactly what's done in the classroom. I hand this to my adjuncts and say, this is how you can teach the class. And an adjunct should be able to pick this up, read it, and know exactly what to do, exactly how to make their syllabus. We cannot really stray from this document and teach whatever we want in the classroom. We have to teach what's in this document. And that's our agreement with the state. When the state approves it, they're approving this is what's being taught. So as a nutrition teacher, if I go in the classroom and I decide today I want to start teaching about horticulture or business, that's not acceptable. It would not be allowed. So this is a document really binding us. We have the academic freedom with the topics, but certainly binding us, saying that we promise the student we have a formal approval from the state that this is what we'll be teaching. But it's a good guide. Don't think of it as something that is going to limit you more so than, especially when we get to the topics, more so than what you could be elaborating upon in the classroom. Here's the recommended instructional strategies. The instructor will lecture, they will do lecture demo, they will do discussion, some internet resources. If there's a lab, you want to make sure lab is checked. I find this as a reviewer, a lot of times somebody will say it's a lab class, but not check this. Or they'll check it and it's only a lecture class. So that's inappropriate, right? But whatever the teacher feels they're doing here. Now, that being said, a lot of times what I'll tell people, if it is a lecture only, but you feel like you're doing some type of, maybe not necessarily a lab, but some type of demonstration, or you're showing them how to do something, that's where you're going to click lecture demonstration. Because it's not a lab hour, but you're still kind of creating or doing something, so you're going to click that. The assessment, how is the student graded? Formative, on a more daily basis, how they're building up to that cumulative project. Really, the cumulative one is summative assessment. Both of these should add up 100% combined. So in my classes, 25% of the students' grade is quiz, 25% discussion, 25% project, 20% final exam, and then 5% on a writing assignment. Okay, so this gives the teacher a really good guideline, someone who's never taught it before. What could I be doing? Now, if the teacher may say, well, I don't want 25% on quizzes. Okay, well, we'll bring it back to curriculum then. We'll make the revision and say we're only going to do 15% on quizzes, and we add a new, right? The faculty member can add a new percentage here, and that could be sent to the curriculum committee. All right. So it's not that you can't change it, but if you do want to change it, it'll go through the curriculum committee. Here is indirect assessment. You want to click on one of those boxes. Then the most important, Triton's learning outcomes. Okay, and then the topics, what is being taught, how long in the classroom, and your learning outcome for that specific topic. This is my strength. I spend a lot of time reviewing the courses in this area, making sure they're measurable verbs that are used in these learning outcomes, that they're not too general. And we use Bloom's taxonomy to help guide us with making sure they're measurable. I show this to my students on a weekly basis. If we're studying proteins, I will post the learning outcome in my Blackboard shell so they know exactly what they should learn by the end of that week. They should know, this is really what they should know by the end of that week. I think sharing these outcomes with students is very important. Then, we'll just click on a couple of these, and if you're new and you're learning how to critique these, read other people's comments, and it will give you an idea of what people posted. Okay. You don't have to post. Some people do like to say, I read it, it looks good. If you want to do that, that's fine. This person was critiquing a learning outcome. Maybe they could be written better. But you'll see what people post. Okay. So remember, TRC members have about a week, and the curriculum committee members, you will review this and then vote on it at the meeting. So I will pause and you guys ask me any questions. I'll just check the chat room here. Yeah.
Hi, Juliana. I have just two questions in regards to the submission. What they do to be submitted, and who is responsible for submitting them?
Okay. So we'll go refer to the calendar. The faculty member needs to have sent it to the dean, to their specific dean. Their dean needs to have it in the curriculum office by these deadlines. So for instance, let's say teacher A wants to send something for the April meeting, because the March meeting, we're already done. The March meeting, all the submissions are done already. So the next available meeting would be the April 1st meeting. So the dean would have to submit to Susie Morato via email by March 8th.
Okay.
Then Susie will upload that to Blackboard. And when she uploads it, you will see when you log into this discussion board, it will say April meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And then we will obviously, we meet on April 1st to vote on that. But it'll go from faculty to dean. This is the deadline the dean has to get it to Susie.
Okay.
For the April meeting. And then April 12th is the deadline for the May meeting. So you can see the curriculum committee only meets 4 times per semester. So 8 times a year. We don't meet in summer. So on these dates, if anyone is a member of the curriculum committee, you will log in. I will start my presentation of items. I ask if the curriculum committee is ready to vote. Typically, the faculty member will give a short presentation on their change. And by short, I mean maybe like 30 seconds. If it's controversial, it might go a little longer. But they'll just say, well, I just updated to the guided pathway. Okay, then I will call a vote. By the time we vote, I want everything to be a yes. And Sue Campos created the TRC. Actually, it wasn't, I believe it was not in existence prior to Sue Campos being the curriculum committee chair. So I applaud her for doing that. But the TRC members fix errors before it even gets to the curriculum committee meeting. Okay, we want those errors fixed. If it was a period that is missing, if it was a misspelled word, if it was a lab box check, but it's only a lecture course, we want that cleared up. And that's why the TRC has such importance to review those prior to the meeting. But listen, and I don't want any misconfusion on this, the curriculum committee members should be reviewing in Blackboard as well, clearly, because they're voting. So it's a group, right? And if if we have 20 TRC members and 10 curriculum committee members reviewing, we have 30 eyes looking at a document. Hopefully by the time we get to March 4th, everything is good to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else has a question? Anybody else? I couldn't have done so perfect.
Julianne.
And also, I know I talk fast, so Susie,
Julianne, I have a question. Is this being recorded?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, great. Will it be posted in Blackboard?
Yes, hopefully.
Great.
Yeah,
so
I will post it.
So people
I
who
clicked
couldn't
that
make the
record
meeting.
button. Yeah, I did click the record button, so I'm hoping it is.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then they could review it for those that couldn't make it. Mary, do you have a question?
I do. This is just a personal question. I mean, I'm still learning all of this. If we have, as faculty, we have courses that are up for review, like we have all of our courses are up for review this spring. If there are no changes that are being made, is there anything to submit?
Okay, that's a good question. By contract, every faculty has to review their course outline once per year. And that means review it. It doesn't mean send it to curriculum office once per year. If
Awesome.
there are no changes, right? If there are no changes, send a quick email to Susie that states, I reviewed all the courses in this particular department, or I would say HTH, whatever your specialty is. I think are you in nursing?
I'm in RAS.
Okay, so you will review all the courses and nothing changed. If it's only a textbook change, I think Susie could do that without the course going through curriculum. So if there's a new edition of the textbook, she can update the form without having a formal vote. But I think that's the only thing we could really change on the course outline without a formal committee vote. And
Awesome,
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, I don't send my courses every year, but I make sure that I review them and make sure they're still up to date and accurate.
Awesome. So just let Susie know. I already sent one revision to Pam and she sent that to Susie. So just let her know that all of the other courses, there are no changes.
Correct. And you could copy your dean too to make sure, to ensure that the dean knows you've done it as well.
Yeah, she does know that I've done it. So I will let Susie know as well. Thank you so much.
Sure. And I think, did Calvin have a question?
No, I didn't have a question, but I want to first thank you for doing a great job. You walked us through where the supporting documentation or even getting the background on things that we're unclear about. So that's always helpful for me, especially when I'm reviewing those documents initially. And now I got a better understanding of the flow of it. So I appreciate you walking us through.
Thank you so much for saying that. And I can tell each and every one of you that are fairly new with this, it takes time. I'm good at it because I've been doing it for how many years now? 6, 7, 8 years? I don't even know. But the first year, I kind of just, I sat back and learned as much as I can. I read other people's comments. I reviewed documents. You'll get your own style in terms of, how you think things should be written, because you're all faculty members too. So you know how topics and learning outcomes could be written. So you kind of give your professional input to the faculty as well. When we comment, most of the time, the reviewer, the person that submitted, makes the changes. If they don't feel that change is necessary, we could debate that, or maybe they don't make that change, right? But so we're just here to kind of to suggest and support the faculty. And essentially, what we want to do as a curriculum committee is when we send the form to the state, we want to make sure that they're approving it. We don't want anything sent back. That's our goal, right? Make these documents perfect so that when it gets to the state, we don't have any problems. Okay.
That, what percentage, I'm hoping it's low, of documents get sent back from the state?
Do you know, Susie, if any?
Okay, that's good. That's good then.
Very, very seldom.
Okay.
Very seldom.
What the state does become picky on, and Susie will agree on this, are the IAI courses. If a course is IAI, there's standards up until what topic should be taught and what learning outcomes should be made. So they are a little more picky on IAI classes than non-IAI classes. And the individuals who have an IAI class know that. They know how to update the IAI forms. They know where to find the information the state wants on those forms. If they don't, you could certainly feel free to email Susie or I, and we could give you the website for IAI. But those are really standardized, right? Because we have an agreement with the state that whether that class is taught at Triton or UIC or U of I, it's going to be the same course. Susie?
Right. Also, for the new programs and certificates, sometimes ICCP has concerns that they'll email back and we have to send them a little bit more additional information. But other than that, not too much.
Right. Yeah. There's a little extra work. I didn't take the time to go over it today, but if it was a new course, there is a little extra work on some forms, and here it would be in the portal. Susie, if it's a new course, I know there's different forms, Form 20 or Form 21. Which one do they fill out? It's 20, right?
The Form 20 is a totally new program on its own. A Form 21 is an extension of either a certificate or a degree that we already have.
Yeah. So if a person wants a new curriculum, they have to fill out the Form 20, and they have to ask research to do a feasibility study. And you'll see that the form for a new program is a lot goes into it. I don't be discouraged if you or somebody in your department wants to create a new curriculum, but it takes a little bit extra paperwork, just so you know. You can't just pull up a curriculum proposal form and say, okay, this is what I want. You got to fill out that state, the Form 20, and you've got to fill out, you have to have a feasibility study done to make sure that that's a degree or curriculum that the end outcome would be employability or transfer. Denise? Denise, are you there?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying I get the process and everything for like a new course or revised course. However, is it the same when it comes to either a course deletion and or a program that is ended? Will you say that the same I guess level of importance and priority goes into before we decide if a program should end or not, or a course?
Okay, a course ending is a lot quicker process than a curriculum ending. A curriculum ending is a very long process. It could be done in a semester. A course ending, and I'm trying to see, a course ending, you will just put on the curriculum proposal form, delete, and then remember this, rationale, evidence, and supporting documentation, right? I always say, what's being done, what is your rationale, and what is your evidence? So that would be a deleted course.
Okay.
Now, a curriculum being deleted, what the faculty member would do is we would get the curriculum proposal. Where's mine? We would get a curriculum proposal, and we would have to first inactivate it, okay? Before this even gets to this point, I typically say the coordinator or chair needs to talk with the faculty members. If they agree, then bring it up to the dean. If the dean and the faculty all agree, the first thing that will be done is inactivating it, okay? That will be done first. After the curriculum is inactivated, the department, and usually the chair or coordinator, should contact research and get a list of all the students that are currently active in the program. In addition to that, names, we want emails, perhaps address and phone number. We have to, as a college, contact every student that's active in that program to tell them that the program will be ending, when it will be ending, and what their options are. Perhaps we say we're going to end it in 1 year from now. So you have a year to complete your program. Perhaps we say we're going to recommend that you transfer into another program similar to this. All right. So if I ended exercise science, I could say, well, why don't you transfer into the nutrition degree? Okay. We have to make what they call a sunsetting plan for all the students. We don't want to just zap a degree and there's 20 people in it wanting to graduate. We would be in a lot of liability trouble. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to inactivate it. I personally have had a program inactivated for 2 years just to make sure no one was left behind that wanted to complete. Once it's inactivated by the state, no new student could enroll, but the ones who are already enrolled could finish. After we know we've gotten everybody through the program, then you make a recommendation to delete to the curriculum committee. The curriculum committee will form a study group, and it's usually about 3 or 4 members of the curriculum committee. It'll be a dean, it'll be a counselor, it will be someone from the business office, and I believe the vice president will review that recommendation to delete. And then if that study committee recommends the deletion of the curriculum, then at the next subsequent meeting, we would vote on it as a group. Okay, so it takes time. I think we have one inactivation coming in March, and then I will need to kind of guide that faculty member into saying, make sure you contact research to get the student list, make sure you come up with a sunsetting plan, and then once that's done, then come back to delete it. Sometimes people forget once it's inactivated to come back and delete, but that may be depending on how long. I've had people come in, I think there was a fire science curriculum once that nobody was even enrolled actively, so they were able to delete pretty quickly. But again, it's a faculty, the curriculum is faculty driven, so we want the faculty really making those choices, but we have to obviously be cognizant of, is the program thriving or not, you know. Okay, let me stop at that with the curriculum deletion. What are some other comments or questions? Would you like me to review anything? I do know that I talk fast, so does anyone need anything else, you know, for me to go over again?
Just one thing, one detail. When you're deleting a course, you have to contact me to see which programs that course is attached to.
Good idea. As soon as you raised your hand, Susie, I was going to say that. I had revised my CPR course, HTH 281. Now, my course is not only in my degree, but it's also in some of Antigone's degrees. It was in education degrees. So I have to contact those department chair or coordinator and tell them, you know, for, like I said to Antigone, I have this in your ENT program. What could we do to make sure that your curriculum is still up to date? So I actually changed my CPR from 2 credits to 1. So Antigone's degrees would have all dropped 1 credit hour. Okay, so we can't have any degree less than 60. So in order to make up that 1 credit, Antigone added in another elective hour. And that's what many faculty members may choose to do. If it's a complete deletion, that other department has to make up the credit somehow. It has to figure out what other course to put in. Antigone, we did just, I believe, add the 1 elective hour in your area. So that's why, in fact, at this curriculum committee meeting with Sue Campos's recommendation, I will make an announcement. If you change something in your area of the college, to make sure that if it's in another department's curriculum, we alert them to that. Okay. The main things you guys will be reviewing are course outlines and curriculum proposals. Those are the 2 main things. Okay. I'm hoping that, and many of you are new, I haven't really gotten the chance to meet you since we've been off campus for so long. I'm hoping that you've seen your own curriculum and you can use that as a guide, right? In your own area, you should be reviewing the course outline that you teach and the curriculum that you're teaching under. That's sometimes helpful as well. We don't have a lot of free time, but feel free to look at the catalog as well as a guide, because the catalog's awesome. It tells you everything Triton has. And there's been so many times that I will recommend to a student, they're not in my curriculum, but they may say, oh, I want to go into VIC, and I know the programs in that area. So I can say, oh, we have a great VIC program, right, Jill? Or I can say, we have a great whatever program the person might be interested in, and then, you know, guide them to that area. So any other questions or comments? Feel free to ask Susie and I still have to ask Susie sometimes. You know, I refer to the handbook. I get confused too, and I have to kind of look things up. All right, so the next review, I will see the members of the curriculum committee. I will see you guys in our virtual meeting. Now, I should say the curriculum committee is open to the public. The meetings are open to the public. So any member of the TRC could come, any faculty member could come. They just click on that link. And the curriculum committee members will be voting, March 4th. For the TRC, our next review will start about March 11th. And I always send out reminder emails to indicate when the review is being taken place. Okay. All right. If there's no questions, I'll stick around for another 5 minutes or so. But if there's no questions, have a great Friday. And Latrice, I'm going to look into making sure your name is on that. It'll take me a minute to get you in there. Thanks, everyone. Have a good Friday.
So much, Juliana. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. I'm staying online for a minute, but I gotta check and make sure that Latrice is in the Blackboard. Maybe when she find users. Who am I talking to? Tracy and Susie. Maybe when she approved it, I forgot to put her in. Let me see here. I think if I add these two, we should be good. Let me see if I put her in. Okay. And I'm going to stop the recording. I hope to God this thing